Welcome, everyone, to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast Super Show for Veterans Day, November 11th. Make a wish, Ian, 11/11, 2025. Shout out to all the veterans out there. I'm Pat Contry. That's Ian Ferguson.
That's me.
On the show today, we'll be talking about lots of fun stuff. We'll be talking about Xbox hullabaloo, all-in-one hullabaloo. We'll be talking about a new Intellivision console, Ian. That's going to be exciting.
Where have I heard this one before?
Deja vu. What is it, 2018? Wow, that's 7 years ago that was announced. Wow. Oh my God. And then
Close to 8.
And then a new Vectrex console as well? Like, what decade are we in? Where's Robin Williams? What year is this? Anyway, that's what's going on with this.
Yeah.
And, did you have a good weekend? You looked at me with those bedroom eyes.
I did. I had a good weekend. I was at Really Rad Weekend, and it was really rad. Did a panel, DJ'd twice, had a pub sub.
You didn't do the food truck this year.
So last year, John and I did the food truck for Extra Napkins. This year, John did food. I DJ'd that night instead of doing food, and What he did was test recipes that he plans on using for the spot he's going to open up in Joshua Tree. So
he's going to open a food truck?
Not a truck. They've actually got land. They're opening a restaurant.
Oh, they're going to build a restaurant?
Yep, a small little restaurant up there. Yep,
a little shanty.
And
that's exciting.
Food went over extremely well. And yeah, everything was good. It was a pretty chill weekend. Buffalo Bills lost horribly to Miami.
Not a good loss, Ian. I know
not a good loss.
I know they're a rival in division, but you can't lose.
I mean, I didn't shed any tears over it. Football's not my sport. I always want the Bills to do well, but I had a feeling going into that game because we watched the Miami game there last year with a bunch of Miami fans, and then we did it again this year.
Oh, good timing.
So yeah, exactly. So we all got all the Miami fans and the Bills fans got together and watched it at the Gazebo TV.
Well, you beat the Chiefs the week before, so it was a trap game, as I say.
Yeah. But yeah, no, great weekend. So, and you saw Back to the Future.
Back to the Future in theaters. It was new to me. We talked about it on the patreon.com/CU podcast, exclusive podcast.
That's right.
We talked about how I teared up at certain moments. We opined about Alan Silvestri's composing.
Mm-hmm.
It's Alan, right?
Alan Silvestri.
And then also we talked about other stuff we've seen in theaters, re-releases, and how that should be and the VHS market, how that changed in the late 80s. So we talked about all that. What was that noise?
That was Slack. And we're turning that down right now.
This is your job right now, Ian. This is your only job right now.
Mm-hmm.
I went to PRGE a few weeks back, and that was interesting. That'll come up in the podcast twice, by the way. This is a very PRGE heavy, Portland Retro Gaming Expo heavy podcast.
It's still the place where things happen.
Yeah, it is. It's still like the heartbeat of the retro gaming community. So here's some of the quick things I bought. There was a Brazilian Sega and NES guy down there who supposedly someone pointed out, someone was walking around, they're like, hey, did you know that guy's like the AVGN of Brazil? I guess like a big retro gaming YouTuber. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, I didn't say anything to him. But the dealer I got a bunch of stuff from, and some of this is not going to me. Some of this is going to my buddy James, not AVGN James, my collecting buddy James that you know.
Right.
Got some Brazilian stuff. I got for him this game called Scanner in the box, and it has artwork of a knight. So it's not a knight game. So I had to figure out, because I'm like, what game is this? And James wanted this. I sent him a picture. James was not at PRGE. Cartucho de Video Game Para. That means four.
Cartouche.
For Phantom system. Phantom. I actually have a Phantom, which is an NES in a 7800 shell. You've seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
That was gifted to me by someone. So I run over to the console area. I ask for Q-tips. And eventually they come back with, those big wand Q-tips. Are you into those at all? I don't know if they're as effective as regular Q. You can't get the leverage, I feel, on those. They're nice, but
they have some uses, but I mean, that's not what I would go to. I wouldn't buy the long ones over the short ones.
So I tested it after. I mean, this was disgusting. This is the only criticism I'll ever have of of sellers in general at these events. Like, if it's a game that's unique, like if it's like a Kid Icarus or, you know, an ice hockey, you know what game it is. This is an unidentified game. Like, this should be tested so that I know what I'm buying. So it took me 20 minutes even to clean and test this at a console at that area. I went through about 12 Q-tips. It was bad. It's Top Gun. It ended up being Top Gun. It's Top Gun. So my friend wanted that. Then I got a super ear mouse, which is their Super Mario Brothers bootleg, with the cool curved top on that.
I like that top.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that looks like a Mega Drive cartridge.
So that's a cool one. The artwork is great. There, I'll Google image search for you there. Watching that. Then I got a Milmar Millionaire. This was a Sachin game, and these are actually like official releases. The Sachin games that came out there as well. There you go. So this is one of the 70 or so Sachin games that were there. Oh man. Here's Road Fighter, which was a early Famicom game we didn't get here. This is like
yeah, I know the one.
Almost like an adapter, but yeah. Then I bought before I get to the last one. I bought and lost a game there, and I'm pissed because it was for my friend, and of course I gave them their money back for it. It was a double ender.
Oh yeah,
cart. 72-pin NES on one side, Famicom 60 on the other, because they had both in Brazil. And I fucking lost it. I paid for it, and now I'm gaslighting myself that I actually buy it and bring it back to my booth, but I could not find it anywhere. I've never done that before. I've bought hundreds of things at conventions before and never lost a thing that I bought. Thankfully, it was only $80, but it was like, it's not something that he'll be able to refine easily, so I feel awful about it. He says, not a big deal, Pat. I still apologize because I feel like I let him down there when it comes to that. And that game was, what was that one? I forget what double.
You told me too.
I told you the time.
I can't remember.
But I don't remember. I don't know if I put it at my booth. My booth mate looked for it, and he said, "Yeah, Pat, I double checked. I didn't realize this after I got home, but he said, yeah, I double checked under the tables after you left. I saw nothing there. Did I throw it in my hotel room? Why would I do that? It wasn't in my book bag. Did someone steal that out of everything from my booth? I mean, it's possible.
I don't think that would be the case.
But like, it's just did I put it down on a table? I was looking for other games and then forgot it. I could have done that, but like,
I can't tell you how many times I've put something down on a table while looking for stuff and just walked away. And every time someone's been great about being like, hey, you left this. Yeah. But that is, I think, far more common than people might think.
Yeah. I mean, I might have done that. It's a possibility, but you would think the person would have saw it or like said something.
That's the reason why you got to take. That's why I always carry a bag with me now, even if I only buy one game, is because it's easy to keep track of a bag.
Then I got the Brazilian Caltron 6-in-1.
I love that cover.
Multi, I can't pronounce that. I don't know Portuguese. Asao, I don't know how to pronounce that. And then this is like, you've probably seen this before online. This version I've seen online, but this is a little bit hard. This is a bit harder to find than the North American one.
I don't know if I have.
It's not rare to find these. There's actually also a European version of the Caltron 6-in-1, but it's cool. It's really clean. It actually lists the games in the back, the 6 games. Balam Monster, not Balloon. Balam. Boogeyman, Porter, Adam and Eve, Magic Carpet,
Cosmo Cop.
Good Cosmo Cop. Anyway, so that was cool. So then he also threw in, I didn't want it, but he threw in an NES clone console, and I was like, I gotta make weight. I made weight by 1.5 pounds on the flight.
Jeez.
And I pack light because I buy stuff. But it was a big deal. It was like a $400 deal for all this stuff and the console. But I said, I'm like, I don't even want the console. But it was like an interesting negotiation back and forth. He thought I was screwing him. I thought he was screwing me. But it was like Brazilian NES games that only 4 people in the world would have wanted. But it was fine. It was fun. He was a good seller. So he had a lot. He had like 12 different NES clones there. It was crazy.
Neat.
He had one that was like camouflage colored. Then he had a bunch of this good old Sega Master System stuff that we didn't get, including the pink girl version.
I love that. Yeah,
wasn't cheap, or else I would have.
That Tectoy one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tectoy did all that. Those like later '90s releases. I think they still make some merchandise, Sega merchandise down there nowadays.
If they didn't, I know that they lasted far. They definitely lasted into the 2000s.
Oh yeah, the Master System was huge bit down there. It was like as big as NES here, just like a huge amount of time. So yeah, that was a good time there. I had fun. And it was the 40th anniversary of the NES, which we'll talk about later, after the shilling begins between us. But the 40th anniversary panel that Frank Cifaldi put on Saturday night, he did that with Bruce Lowry, who was the VP of Sales during the launch. He also did it with Lance Barr, who was the product designer at Nintendo. This was his first ever convention for retro games. and then good old Gail Tilden, my pal Gail Tilden, who was basically the marketing, the head of marketing then, who came up with ideas like, I don't know, Game Pack, I don't know, the black box design of games, just like these brilliant things to help differentiate it from the garbage that Atari left the industry in.
Visionary.
Yeah, and she hung out at my booth. We talked. I met Lance. Lance is so humble and nice, but he's like, yeah, it's interesting. I'm walking around and I'm seeing all these T-shirts with the controller that I designed on their shirt. And he's just like, I think that's funny. It's just like, yeah, it's amazing. Thanks, Lance, for he came up with the console design. He redesigned the Zapper, because remember for the Famicom it was the 6-shooter design,
right?
And they did their panel, which I wasn't able to go to, but it's online.
Yeah, all these things that reduce to icons make people nostalgic.
Yeah, and it's interesting time, 4th anniversary. Nintendo did absolutely nothing for the 4th anniversary, by the way, which I thought was funny. The same way they did nothing for the 25th anniversary, which is why we did the NES Marathon 15 years ago.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you should at least acknowledge the 5s and 0s of
right.
of your first console. Like that would be interesting to do that. I know it was a couple years earlier, in Japan, but obviously in North America, it did gangbusters.
Well, and when they've they've done prior anniversary celebrations. I mean,
they did for Mario for the 25th. They had they had the Wii release.
Well, there's Mario 35 too for the 35th. Yeah,
but come on, show that
they ripped out of our hands.
What do you mean they ripped out of our hands?
Mario 35.
What do you mean they ripped it? What do you mean?
It's gone. Mario 35. The game.
Oh, what do you mean it's gone? They shut down the servers? Oh, that's the one they stopped producing.
Yes, the one that you said that you complained about endlessly when they took it down because you loved it so much and you would buy it.
Oh, I was thinking
Mario 35.
Yes. I'm sorry. I thought you meant like the 3D triple pack or whatever.
No, that's Mario 3D All Stars.
Yeah, bring that back. I'll pay for it. I was good at that game. Damn it. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I know why I blanked on that for. Yeah, that was awesome in 2020 playing that. There was nothing else to do.
I was having a stroke. I was like, what's going on?
It's like 35. Oh, you mean the game 35? Yeah. No, that was good. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what I've been doing, and Microsoft has been increasing prices.
Yeah, let's jump right into this. Microsoft announced increases to Game Pass. They announced these a few weeks ago, and
it wasn't well received, by the way. I don't think.
No, it wasn't. And let me just hit the prices first, and then we'll get into the issues here. Ultimate, they've now split it into Ultimate and Essential.
They renamed it. They rebranded it.
Yes. So the Essential version is $14.99 a month. The Essential version is $29.99 a month.
I'm sorry. Essential is $14.99.
Sorry. Essential is $14.99. Ultimate is $29.99.
15 and 30.
15 and 30.
And what did they used to be?
When I started, it was 15, and I think it went up to $19.99
for the Ultimate.
I think it was the only thing you could get.
Okay.
Or I paid for. I think on PC there was there might have been a difference on console to get the EA games, but that was considered an add-on. They only had one plan. They had one plan and some add-ons.
So it used to be the Ultimate was $20 a month.
Yes, that's what I had.
So that just went up 50% to $30.
Yep.
Okay. And they had a PC one that was cheaper. And it looks like a standard one that was $12. So the $12 one is now $15, which is 25% increase. That's not great. But 20 to 30 is a 50% increase. I have a feeling that was a popular one, because that's probably where you got a lot of those games in the first day they came out.
Yes. I mean, when I had that, I think that was kind of the only model. That was the only. I feel like that's the only thing people grabbed.
Because it made the most sense.
Right.
Because you get your AAA games day one on that.
And then with that, you could download the games to your hard drive, at least on the PC version, and play them directly off the hard drive as opposed to streaming them.
Interesting.
Instead of cloud playing them, which was the reason why I was interested in it. But from what I can tell reading this, when it talks about the Essential plan...
Essential.
Xbox Game Pass Essential, a great way to get started.
Is Essential just basically being able to play multiplayer and things like that?
I don't know. I don't. It's not that. Okay. Essential is for players who want the essence of everything Xbox. They just want a whiff. They want a whiff. So our revamped Essential plan now includes unlimited cloud gaming, online multiplayer, in-game benefit. Right, but it also includes cloud gaming.
Okay.
So that I believe is the cloud streaming. So it's still games. It's not just an online pass.
But you need it to play multiplayer, though. Essential.
That I don't know, but maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought you said multiplayer. Okay.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying what it includes. I don't know if they could be using words that
To trick people?
mean
Some
more.
trickery?
Yes. So, unlimited cloud gaming, online multiplayer, in-game benefits and rewards with Xbox, plus a curated catalog of 50 plus games playable on both console and PC.
50.
That is such a huge reduction.
So I'm guessing it used to be hundreds before that.
Right. And then you find out here that, like, okay, subscribers get access to in-game benefits in some of the games, like League of Legends, Call of Duty, Overwatch 2.
Free-to-play online games, okay.
Right. I revamped it. So my big concern here is the way this is worded. I don't think the Essential plan allows you to download the games and run them off your hard drive either. I think it's strictly cloud streaming. Now, I'm not certain, but that's what that makes me think when I see it worded that way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need it to play multiplayer games.
Okay. Well, lots of things have that. So
like how you need it for Switch now.
Right.
Things.
And then Ultimate.
By the way, originally when it came out, that was $10 a month Essential. Or whatever their version I think it was.
Okay, so there was Ultimate and Essential, but
or whatever it was called.
Essential was so cheap at the time.
Or it was called Standard. So it went from 10 to 12 or 13 and then to 15. It's jumped up.
Okay, so then going back, I did have Ultimate. So there was the 2 tiers.
Okay. And now that $20 one's now $30.
And Ultimate says Xbox Pass. Okay, Ultimate just got its biggest upgrade yet.
Ultimate subscribers get access to over 75 day one releases a year. 75. That includes some of the most anticipated coming games like High on Life 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Outer Worlds 2, Black Ops 7. There's 7 Black Ops. Holy shit. These join a growing library of more than 400 games playable on Xbox consoles, Xbox on PC, and Xbox Cloud, with more than 45 new games added today when they first announced this. Okay.
So, and then, there's other added benefits. So when you subscribe to Ultimate, you get Fortnite Crew. It's an $11.99 a month value. It looks like it's... it gives you the battle pass, 1,000 V-Bucks each month and more.
Yeah,
so
it says they're up to $100 per year for points.
That's a different thing that I'm talking about. That's a different. I'm talking about Fortnite Crew. So basically, they're bundling in some like season pass stuff, basically
to try to show more value,
right? To try to soften the blow a little bit.
We're charging $120 more versus what you just had.
And then cloud gaming for Ultimate gets a boost. Ultimate subscribers exclusively enjoy our best quality streaming and wait times. So you don't even get the highest quality streaming they can offer you on Essentials. Now let's take a quick look at the games. I'm mostly concerned about what the game list is on Essentials. Because Ultimate Premium and Essentials. Okay. City Skylines Remastered was added. Hades was added. To put it to you this way, Hades, I believe, came out in 2019, and the sequel just released. So you get like one back. So if you compare the updates they announced to the updates they announced for Essentials, you get 4 updates for Essentials, and Ultimate gets more than I feel like counting right now.
Am I looking at this right? There's actually 3 tiers now?
Yes, Premium.
Essential Premium is now $15, and Ultimate. Okay, so there's 3 tiers now. So Essentials 10, Premium's 15.
Weirdly, Premium I think is lower because it says available today, also in Ultimate.
This is what's confusing. So they have a graphic here. I'm looking at Ian Xbox Wire. So basically, the difference between Essential and Premium, you get more playable games. You get 200 plus versus 50 plus on Essential. That's the big thing, it looks like. And you get the unlimited cloud gaming with shorter wait times, which you mentioned. Okay, so it sounds like...
Folks, I really tried to have this straight in my head, but they're not making it easy.
No, it's confusing because Essential versus Premium... So basically what they're doing is this. They're offering Essential as getting a small drink and saying, well, for 25 cents more, you get the one you really want. No one's going to get the Essential for $10 a month because you get only 50 plus games versus 200 plus games you get on Premium, and then it sounds like you probably get the shittier cloud gaming experience. That's what it reads to me. So they're forcing you into the $15 a month, which is more than it used to be, and then at the same time raising the Ultimate by $10. They're trying to make it seem like you're getting more for premium versus what used to be at the smaller tier. But now there's 3. There's small, medium, and the best value, I guess, ultimate.
And none of the smaller ones don't seem great. Like they're purposely shitty to make you want more, because you get unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits, online console multiplayer. So yes, it's essential for multiplayer.
So you need to spend $10 a month at least to do
play and earn up to $25 a year in the store with rewards. Okay.
Okay.
Premium.
Okay.
New Xbox published games within a year of launch. Boy, that's enticing. Unlimited cloud gaming with shorter wait times, in-game benefits, online console multiplayer, earn up to $50 a year. And then Ultimate is, I think, what everyone thinks of when they first hear of Game Pass, because it always used to be about the day one releases and things like that. And that is the 75 plus day one games a year, Ubisoft Classics, and EA Play included. Okay, so I think I had premium on the PC with the EA and Ubisoft Classics added. Okay. I think that was what I had. Unlimited cloud gaming at our best quality with the short wait times.
What do you mean? Do they mean wait? They're not talking about lobby rooms. They're talking about like you're going to get the cloud games a little bit later than the Ultimate. You're going to get them like a couple months later.
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out the wording here. What does that mean by wait times?
I don't know. Maybe downloading essential stuff. I have no clue. That I literally have no idea. So, long and short of it, I'm spending too much on this. No, the main problem is we're spending too much on this overall. The main problem is that they raised the prices, and what that shows is Microsoft is hurting. The Game Pass plan is failing.
Oh, the whole
Gambit is falling apart. Microsoft is done. They have completely diluted everything. Their unbeatable Game Pass, which was going to save them, is now begging for money. And the whole this is an Xbox campaign. No one, it's done. And that takes us to the next thing that's on the intro, which is their games are no longer exclusive.
Okay, well, real quick, this is part of the whole arms race that happened during the pandemic.
Yes, absolutely.
And this happened with streaming that we're seeing the bad ramifications of right now, but also happened with the games. It was an arms race between we'll buy up all these studios. We'll go overspend to get all these AA and some AAA studios. We'll buy Activision. We'll do all this shit. Is that even officially through yet? No, it's not. That's not even officially done yet. But we're going to spend literally $100 billion to make sure that Sony doesn't, I guess. And then we'll just put out these games for free on this pass. We'll get all this money now, and be damned. Who cares if this destroys the industry 3-4 years from now? We need the money right now. We don't care about what this is going to do down the road. That's exactly what's happened with gaming, and it's what's happened with entertainment streaming, where it's like Disney Plus. We're going to make all these shows. We have zero idea what the return on investment is to produce all these Star Wars shows, to produce Willow before we take it off the air within 5 months. You can't watch it anymore. All these Marvel shows, Ian, we're going to throw all this money at this to get new subscribers. Well, are you making up the cost? We don't know. But we need money right now.
Yeah.
We just need revenue right now because we're publicly traded companies. But you're cannibalizing your business long term, and you're disrupting these studios that you now bought, and now you're now getting rid of these people that you just brought on like a less than a year later sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't know what you're doing. You have no long-term plan. You don't care. And now, to make up for it, we're going to give you the same shit and raise the price 50%. Or give you less than what we gave you and raise the price 50%.
I think what they really thought was going to happen was they were going to offer this amazing deal, and everyone was going to get to play all these games for nothing, not realizing that you're not going to be able to generate any money into your company from that. But what I think they were waiting for was it to get so big that Nintendo and Sony came to them begging to have their streaming service on their systems.
Oh, stream our Super Mario game or at least include it on your Game Pass? Yeah. No.
Well, no, allow Game Pass on a PlayStation or something like that. I think what they wanted to do, I think their attempt, and it failed, which is why they've lost everything, and it was a big gamble, was Microsoft Xbox was to become a service that they hoped to offer on multiple platforms that streamed all of these games. And that's why they wanted to own the games, because they would have this unbeatable stable that no one could resist, and they could get it onto everything.
And then they'd own so much that then Sony would have to play ball or Nintendo.
Right. So they would be finding money on all sorts of consoles.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. We already said that.
Right.
Their end game was just to be a software company.
And that doesn't, and that failed.
But they went around it the wrong way because
Yes.
the Game Pass thing doesn't align in terms of return on investment. You can't spend. We always said, how do you spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a game and then give it away for free as part of your subscription? Like that doesn't make any sense.
You can't do it.
I don't have a business degree. And I'm telling you that makes no sense. You can't do that. You can't. That long term, you're going to be gutting yourself, which is what's happened.
So here's the thing. They raise the prices on shit like Microsoft Game Pass. But, which, okay, if there was any exclusives, maybe that would have some pull. But then we've got this article from October 27th, 2025. Halo games will be on PlayStation going forward, says Microsoft.
Well, we always knew it'd get to this point. We didn't know how it'd get to this point, but yeah.
No, but I mean, it's just these announcements coming so quick in succession.
Yeah.
It's like Microsoft is doing everything to kill Xbox.
The Xbox brand is gone.
After this holiday season, basically, I don't think they want to fucking think about it anymore.
They want this Xbox name eventually to be gone, I think.
Yes.
They don't want it to exist.
They'll get rid of Xbox.
It's just their imprint. It's just the Xbox imprint.
That's
Xbox
what
games, yeah.
Like the ROG Ally that they didn't make has the Xbox imprint on it.
It's just a brand. It's not.
The Game Pass will be an Xbox imprint, but it's not. It's
not going to be related to like a console ecosystem at some point.
Systems are done. Yeah. I think consoles, we've always said it, but consoles are getting closer and closer to done. But Microsoft's console, I don't think there's going to be another.
You think after this generation?
I don't think there's going to be another Xbox. That seems like a really good way to flush a lot of money down the toilet.
Oh, nowadays, because now with the increased prices to develop, and now you're competing with all the AI shit.
You purposely sent your user base elsewhere, and you're not going to get them back.
And they just jacked the price of the consoles. It's not all their fault. It's because of
Sony
tariffs.
did that too. Yeah.
And so did Nintendo. So like that's tariffs. Good old tariffs. How's that working out?
Did they raise the price on a Switch too?
Right after they announced it, 2 days later they said we had to.
Oh, okay. I meant again.
Well, the original Switch went up too. The original Switch cost more than what it did when it came out.
Oh, I believe it. It was just a moment of confusion. I thought you meant they raised it again after.
Oh no, but all three of the companies raised their console prices the past year.
Yeah,
Nintendo had to do it before they announced it. They had to re-announce it within a week because the tariffs. It was like, by the way, that wasn't the real prices. These are the real prices now. And then for the first time ever, we always said, the previous generation consoles are now worth. It's more money. They're more expensive now.
Yeah.
Several years later, it's more expensive to buy a Switch brand new, which is crazy. That's just crazy. Anyway,
you know where the prices aren't crazy?
Where are you?
UltimateNintendo.com.
I think they're reasonable to get some RBI baseball stickers. I think they're $5 right now.
Yeah, those prices didn't go up with tariffs.
No tariffs there. I already imported them from I guess Sunnyvale or wherever Atari was. You got some enamel stickers. Excuse me, enamel pins, not stickers. The pins are enamel. You got some. You got an N64 book you can get there. You got a Super Nintendo book there that's running low on stock. I'm just saying, get in early.
Get in late. Get in before it's too late.
I'm not going to tell you how many is left, but we're approaching double digits on that. I'm not sure when we're going to reprint them. No pressure, but it's all UltimateNintendo.com.
5 plus the one I'm sitting on is a booster seat.
There you go. And then Ian streams the hits and the house and all the good stuff
on Thursdays. Pat does the streaming of the commercials on Wednesdays.
I've been doing it for over 5 years, Ian.
5 years?
It's going to be 6 years, I think, in May or so.
It's fucking bonkers.
Ian, you know what else was at UltimateNintendo.com?
Why don't you tell me?
Pre-orders went live for the expanded edition of Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library.
That's right. That's pretty exciting.
I announced it on the 40th birthday of the NES, October 18th, 1985, which may or may not be the real date, by the way, but that's the one we have historically. It might be a few days here or there. But, yeah.
Tell the kids at home what's going to be different.
Well, every single review is different. Everyone's either re-edited and or rewritten. I've personally rewritten about 50 to 60 of my own reviews from scratch. Because we're all better writers and editors 10, 12 years later. And all new cart graphics for every game. Photorealistic models done from scratch. Never done before. There's like 40 different cartridges on the NES. It's like 40. Not even counting weird ones like the ones I just showed you from Brazil. There's like 40 different shapes and colors. It's crazy. I had to compile a list.
I believe it. I never really thought about that before. That seems like a lot.
Once you drill down, it gets crazy. And then we're doing something besides, I don't know, every review being written differently or, new information, updated information, new star ratings on some games that have been rewritten or revised.
People will be privy to the new information.
They'll be privy to it. But also, this is something that's never been done before that my previously referenced friend James, who has the legend of NES.com, big time collector. He has rescanned at this point nearly, I think, 1,300 NES cartridge labels from scratch. I mean, like going to his shelf and redoing all the variants, all the international, exclusives, a lot, 1,300. And that's not even all of them. We might do more, but the book can only hold so much. But what's interesting about this is that also doing the spines, and that's not something you can find online. You cannot find a universal label set that includes both the spine and the front. And
that's pretty cool. I like that. Because you're right, you can't find anything
doesn't
like
exist. When you go on like Cover Project, you get the fronts, or you might get some of the more popular games people have done, but you're never going to find someone that did all 800 plus NES games. Doesn't exist.
Sure.
And plus, they're all color corrected on top of that because it's from one source. So that's going to be interesting. So you're going to have a new angle of the cart in the books, and you're going to have new sections. You're going to have a Sachin section, the games that were produced in Taiwan that you can get here by like mail order. You're going to have more international games in there. You're going to have more hardware there. You're going to have some new articles. That's not finalized yet. And yeah, it's going to be a new book, new layout here and there as much as we can do. So yeah, it's a lot of work. Ian allowed me to do this because I said it'd be less than a year of work, and it is going to be less than a year of work. So thank you, Ian, for allowing me that. And that'll come out probably Q4 of next year, but you can pre-order it now. Kickstarter next year once it's a little bit closer to production.
Sweet. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it, especially like all the new art and stuff like that.
There you go.
I think that'll be
James has been a lifeline because otherwise, and then David who did artwork on the N64 book. Once you have to scan every game twice, the top and the front, but then you can't capture on scanning that little freaking millimeter or so where it folds over from the front to the spine.
Oh yeah.
So that has to be manually filled in. It has to be done for over 1,000 pieces of art.
That's crazy.
So that's David's job. Thankfully, a lot of them solid, but about 15 to 20% of the games, there's art
that wraps.
Like Archon's one with like those vines and shit.
Yeah,
you got to fill that in. You can't AI that. You gotta manually fill this shit in.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, there's
a bunch. It's more than you think.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Once you start looking at it, it's not the majority, but it's like 15 to 20% where you have to fill in that missing with more than a solid color. Anyway, ultimatenintendo.com. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. All right, past the commercial break. What else we got going on?
Little Samson's getting a limited run games re-release. No real surprises here.
I'm surprised it's taken this long, to be honest.
Me too, because as soon as this became a popular thing, and I want to say Retrobit was very early on with doing this. It's starting years back with the there was the NES.
Metal Storm was the first.
No, Holy Diver was the first thing they did that was a Famicom game, but they released that in an NES cartridge.
Well, the first NES re-release was Metal Storm.
Yes, and Metal Storm, harder to find game. And lots of people, or lots of places started to do this. And it wasn't just with NES games. It was with Game Boy games, too. Avenging Spirit got a re-release. That's one of the hardest to find
Genesis
Game Boy
games got re-releases or translations.
Exactly. So it's become a very popular thing to do.
Would you say it's en vogue, Ian?
I would say it's en vogue. And it's great because this is a way to get a reproduction cart, essentially, that's official. In some way, shape, or form. It's at least licensed.
It's licensed.
Et cetera, et cetera. You're hopefully getting a standard of quality that is better than most bootleg carts.
Sure.
And they've been doing it with, clearly, the first targets would be rare or expensive games.
I think the reason, I don't want to speak out of turn. I think this one took a while because tracking down the rights was a little bit different.
I think I saw that. Tracking down the rights holders was far harder.
It was harder to, otherwise this would be one of the ones, this is a canary in the coal mine one. It should have been like, this is a very, very, very uncommon game that's popular and goes for a lot of money. that's highly regarded. It's like the magical chase of the system, basically.
It's super fun.
So like this would be one you want to reproduce and get into people's hands officially. A good product and not just some AliExpress garbage.
Yeah, off the top of my head, games like Gunneck, Metal Storm, Little Samson, those are all really fun games that are super uncommon to rare, but they deserve the re-release not just because they're hard to find, they're actually good games.
Yeah. And I guess, Dinosaur Peak's a pretty good game. It's not the quality of Little Samson.
I hate those Flintstones games. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because I hate the Flintstones.
There are some clunky sections of those games where they're a little unfair.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. But there's, I reviewed that one. NES Punk video, I reviewed Dinosaur Peak. That was a very, we'll just say, philosophical episode of Pat the NES Punk. I remember that one. It was a very almost midlife crisis episode.
I think I did not watch that one specifically because I hate the Flintstones.
Wow.
I just don't care.
What year did I do that? Was that 2012 or 13?
It was ages ago.
14? God, how
over 10 years ago.
Jesus.
So, anyways, that's cool to see. I'm all for the game being more accessible to people who want it on their shelf.
Yeah, you play as that cute little mouse.
I love the mouse. So, illegal Switch streamer loses lawsuit to Nintendo. Let me get into this one here.
Yeah.
So, okay. Nintendo won a suit against the streamer who defiantly streamed pirated games early. That's the headline at Polygon by Devin McClure. I'm going to start off with this because people love to get on me or us about this. I'm not defending Nintendo. They're extremely litigious. But what I also can't defend is people who purposely ask for pain and receive it. So streamer Jesse Keegan, known online as Every Game Guru, has been in a legal battle with Nintendo for basically streaming games that have come out, streaming games before they're released, promoting emulators, piracy, etc., etc.
Yeah. Let me say this. There is no way that Nintendo was not going to come after this person for doing this.
They are overly litigious, but at this point, I hate to say it, everyone knows that you don't poke this bear.
No, but they're justified in going after someone illegally streaming games that, like to the world.
Oh, sure.
Like this is justified.
So
this isn't like going after some little fan game somewhere.
And I will say this, Nintendo, the damages that Keegan has been ordered to pay are actually, in the grand scheme of things, extremely minimal.
Yes.
Especially with what these people have been, especially with what lawsuits from Nintendo have done to individuals before.
Oh,
he has to pay $17,500 in damages, and from
I'm shocked it was that low.
And that definitely is more of a we're sending a message than anything else.
That is a warning because they've obviously, the ROM sites that were charging money, they just ended those people. Charging money to download our games illegally, like they just.
And the big thing that I need to point out here is it's not just that he's pirating games and streaming them. People can do that and get away with it.
Sure.
It's not just that he's talking about it. It's that, and here's the quote from the lawsuit, on at least 50 occasions, Keegan has live streamed gameplay footage of at least 10 different games without authorization and before the games were released to the public. That, I guarantee you, is what really got Nintendo's goat. So, that said,
at least 50 occasions, by the way. So it's like when you look at the amount, they probably could have like said, well, you violated our copyright 50 different times and just ratchet up the cost, like those FBI warnings. But like I said, you got off easy here, Jesse.
But I got to say something. We've talked about some things before. When you are in a lawsuit, put your fucking dick back in your pants and stop swinging it around. There's nothing to fucking gain here. It does not matter if your followers... Hold on, we're going to get there. It does not matter if your followers think you're fucking cool and give you a high five and an emoji and $2 in a chat. But you don't want to say things like, I can't wait for more new games to stream and give away for free. Or you might run a corporation, I run the streets.
Ooh,
or
douchey.
I have thousands of burner accounts, you can't stop me.
I think Nintendo could stop you. I think they could.
So I don't feel bad for this guy in any way, shape, or form.
The emojis that you're going to see in your chat that make you feel warm and fuzzy for that 30 seconds are not worth the doom that can come upon your life that you are inviting in.
And I do want to say this Polygon article has some pretty fun, like dry humor.
Okay, give me one.
Keegan, who repeatedly taunted the company throughout the lawsuit, once stated he could do this all day. However, a final judgment reported by Torrent Freak has proven that he could not, in fact, do so.
So, I guess what's going to happen is...
Oh, he emailed Nintendo stating he has thousands of burner accounts. So that wasn't even something he just said on stream.
He was toying with them. So he's inviting death.
Hubris.
So there was an injunction made, right? He's not allowed to stream. Injunction prohibiting him from infringing on Nintendo copyright was approved. Like, you shouldn't have to have an injunction for prohibiting someone from infringing on your copyright. Like, that's sort of like, you're not supposed to do that. I think it's funny. An injunction prohibiting him from infringing on Nintendo copyright was approved, but both an injunction against unnamed abetting third parties and in order to destroy all circumvention devices was denied. Okay, so Nintendo's argument was, we want whatever device you're using to be destroyed, even though we don't know what that necessarily is because you're not showing that. And then any third parties involved, you can't do that. That's overextending your reach on what you can do here.
Right.
But we can say, hey, listen, Jesse, you're not going to stream this ever again because if it happens, Nintendo will not come after you probably for only $17,000. I think Nintendo was more than fair in this instance, Ian. They probably were more than fair than that the people that did those 3D models too. They probably didn't get a lot of money out of them. What they probably said was I
don't know about that. That's a company, not an individual.
Sure, but I think from what I know from Nintendo, from this sort of stuff, is that unless you are really, really going out of your way to, try to inhibit their, we'll say, marketplace growth when it comes to their products, they're going to be a little bit easier on you. Like those idiots that taunted Nintendo with the 3D print job, they're not really hurting Nintendo's business in the long run on the bottom line, even though it's bad to misrepresent your product. So I would think they wouldn't have ended that company's still in business, so they didn't end them. What was it? Was it Genki?
Genki.
Yeah, they didn't end them. But if this person decides to do this again, I think at that point the gloves will be off, and you won't be able to pay your mortgage anymore after that.
One other thing I'll mention is this person ignored three letters from the opposing counsel, which resulted in a summary judgment.
So they didn't even show up.
Yep, he didn't show up. You can't run from it. So, again, I don't care if you pirate. I don't care if you stream pirated games. Tons of people stream ROMs, stream shit off of a flash card. Yeah, but I don't give a fuck. But when this happens, the response you should have is go silent, settle your legal matters, and move on. Yeah. Not go to social media and taunt the company.
Yeah, but using emulators on old games isn't products that haven't come out yet. That's directly affecting your business.
I know. I'm just trying to say that there's nuance here to it, and I'm not because there will be people who are like, "Oh, you're anti-piracy, you're anti this." No, a lot of instances I'm very for.
No, Nintendo's never gotten after us for an NES marathon if we used a flash cart. That's not that. There's no how would you even prove damages on that? But this is a game that is like available now or not available now that you're now ruining for people or giving them a ways to get it illegally.
Well, I think that's the ways to get it illegally because how are you going to prove damages from someone watching a stream? You're not going to. So they're estimating damages from. Sure, who would have gone and grabbed a game from the sites he promoted.
But it's still a copyright infringement publicly the same way I can't just show a movie to people at a park for free. I can't just show a movie. That's illegal to do that without getting the rights. Technically it is. To do a session like that. Anyway, there you go. So we'll see what happens with Jesse. if he what do you say? You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit in the wind. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Is Nintendo the wind in this case? I don't know.
But yeah. So, real quick, Evercade, when I took a look, I didn't realize that Evercade's got itself a little ecosystem going on.
You knew, we knew this.
Well, I didn't know. I guess I didn't know about the Super Pocket. Okay. So there was the original Evercade, which we had, and I loved it.
It's still on the shelf.
And then there was the Evercade console, which I thought was a neat idea, especially how putting in 2 cartridges could sometimes unlock a certain game or whatever.
Sure.
I think one of the Namco ones did that. But it was neat. A neat way to load 2. The controllers felt nice. The emulation on the games has been good. They announced it's the Evercade EXP-R, which is their current handheld. Which is just a revision of the 2nd edition, which that was the gray one that looked a little bit sleeker, and it had the buttons positioned so that for shooters you could turn it horizontally and play.
So that was their second one.
Second one, and then there was a revision of that second one.
The Game Boy one.
Then there's the Game Boy. Now there's one that looks like a Game Boy.
Sure.
And then now there's one that is the Alpha is the tabletop arcade. I personally have never liked tabletop arcades. I think they look cheesy and shitty. I do. I mean, it's my opinion.
You don't like these? These 18-inch ones, basically?
Yeah, there's something about them, the way they look. I don't particularly like them. But if you want to play, it's interesting because Evercade games, ever since like the second wave of cartridges, they started adding arcade ROMs and things like that. It wasn't just, console ROMs. Now they were doing arcade ROMs. So it does give you I suppose a more... what's the word I'm looking for? A more true way to play some of these games. I think the handhelds are cool. I did end up getting rid of my Evercade because I just wasn't using it much. Evercade's one of those things, it's neat. It's kind of like what I said about the Amico early on, and that I think this is very interesting. I don't know who it's for, but to Evercade's credit, they found who it's for, apparently, because they've been selling these things like crazy. They keep putting out cartridges. They keep putting out new ways to play the games.
Can I just comment on the marketing video real quick?
Yeah.
It's a very sleek marketing video with these 420-somethings. They start by playing the tabletop. Then the gal or girlfriend or whoever comes over. They start playing the handheld. Then another couple comes over. They go back and forth. Then they get the console, put on the TV. Then it's nighttime. So these people are playing Evercade games for several hours. At some point, they got to touch some grass here.
Right.
We like the Evercade products, but you got to go outside at some point. There's got to be a recommended time limit on their Evercade at one point. It's fine, but yeah. So basically, you're in the ecosystem. The cartridges work on now 5 different devices between 3 handhelds and the tabletop.
Technically, yeah. I mean,
the console.
Right. Yeah.
Different form factors. The guts are basically, we're talking about the same.
Yeah, if you want to count all of it, it'd be 1, 2, 3 versions of their main handheld, 2 being very similar.
The console.
And
this.
The arcade and the Super Pocket. So
Super Pockets are that's the standalone ones. I thought the Super Pocket.
Okay.
The small ones.
Yes. Sorry.
The ones I told you about. Those are standalones. So you got 5 different products. They've really done a good job. I'm giving them credit. I'm not dissing them here.
No.
Basically, one new product a year for the past several years, where it's like, hey, here's a new revision. If you like it, you can play it a different way.
Things look sleek. You get a cartridge. You get a full color manual. You get a box with a spine.
But I think we're reaching the ends of the product line.
Yes. What else are we going to make here?
That's actually a credit to them for successfully launching all this stuff. But at this point, unless you come up with like a arcade 1-up fuller size unit, which might be their plans, or a cocktail, that'd
be amusing. Open up this big arcade type machine and put like 4 tiny. Maybe they'll do a Neo Geo sort of like MVS arcade or something.
But that's it. We're kind of like at the end of it, which is fine. I mean,
now everyone's got an option for what they want.
But it's like 5 products in like 6 years or whatever. It's been like a pretty good.
So I think they're probably doing okay on selling the cartridges and things like that.
They have like 100 different cartridges, don't they? How many do they have?
But because they're
Evercade.
Because they're business, their games are basically running on emulation. It's not like they can create a more souped up one either. Or I mean, they at some point they'll hit an end to what they can emulate, but are they going to go on and try to emulate anything beyond the arcade and 16-bit consoles? That's where I think it would get a little dicey, and I wouldn't necessarily trust their expertise. It's a very different thing. They can't necessarily jump into the analog marketplace, I don't think.
No, because the horsepower you need on the hardware goes up, and then the faithfulness of the emulation goes down at the same time if you don't have that. So this is a sweet spot, like you said. Like this is we're good for like 70s to 90s sort of sprite games, and
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what most people like anyway.
And, they will probably at some point remodel the handheld again just to make something else that people
Like I said,
could,
I've talked to these folks. They're okay. They're nice people. So I'm not putting them down. It's funny how quickly they've come out with all these products.
Yeah.
Because it's only been like 5 or 6. Yeah, it's been 5 years. It was 2020.
Yeah.
So we're talking 5 years, 5 main products.
That's the other thing I would say. Evercade has generally been very, very affordable. I'm not sure that the tabletop arcade would fall in that category. Let me see. It's $250 US.
$250 US. That doesn't include shipping. It's $280. The pre-order is $260. It's $280, and you can get them in like a Mega Man version, a Bubble Bobble, a Champion Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. So you're talking shipped, that's going to be like $300 probably, if not a little more. These are chunky.
Right.
So at that point, this becomes a little bit different of a product once you start reaching those prices. This becomes like a premium. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like $100 handheld anymore.
Yeah.
Once you go to 300, but the games are the same. You own the games, at least, that you can plug in and play them. You get like 6 buttons. You get a nice looking joystick there. So that's the thing. Now we're at a different price venue here.
Yes. Yeah.
Then if they do an arcade 1-up one, sort of like size, that's going to be like $500 probably. Like at that point, what are we talking about here? What are we doing anymore? Like
I think at that point, if they were,
I'm not saying they're even planning on. I'm saying like that's the next progression.
They're well known enough. Well, if they were more well known, I think selling an Evercade style machine that accepts all the cartridges, if you focus on the arcade cartridges, could give Arcade 1-up a 1 for the money, because you don't have to buy these individual units. You could just swap out the cartridges, like I said, like an MVS.
But for arcade games, you need unique control panels based upon the games. It's a little bit.
Which is one of the things that has made me contemplate very few Arcade 1-ups, but they would still have enough of a selection that could work on a universal layout.
Yeah, I mean, you can do tons of games.
Or you could throw a spinner on the control panel too.
I'm just looking at the prices. It's like $600, $700.
Oh, I'm not saying that they would do it cheaply.
Yeah, I guess, but hey, it works for them. They have their audience of dedicated folks. They've been doing this for 5 years, so good for them.
Yeah.